same level of games on it. In fairness, I mean, it's not terrible. They have some close matchups. Their most recent matchup against Movistar Kai, it was a 10-13 game. Not terrible. A few different rounds go their way. Could have been their win. Their matchup before that, they lost in 9-13 against VP Prodigy, which, I mean, not great, but again, at least a relatively close scoreline. So I'm trying to grasp at some hope here is what I'm getting at. So let's see. The logos are, I believe, swapped. They're up the top, but
yeah, I think a round needs to be played and it should be fine. I hope.
Ah, okay.
Well, we'll see. I've seen it happen before. But anyway, let's get underway. And actually, looks like we're going pretty fast into the A bomb site for Sangal. Quick 2 for 2. Linus and Sammy will actually deal with Valder in the end after he gets 2 quick fire shots with the dualies. But Joel smoked off toward main. No kit picked up, of course, for TSM as well. Them already down. They're going to have to go pretty quickly on this one. In terms of what could be an all-important flash, he's going to try and send Zyphon in through heaven. Problem is he's low, of course, already being gooshed down, and that's when Joel tries to pounce too. He does wait for his teammate's utility, but no more than that. And now Inters, some kills would be nice. Does get them. But, of course, no time for the defuse. Young Star should get this kill. Well, maybe not just yet, but there we go. Finishes it off. Nice P250 headshot. And Sangal keep the train running.
This is Nuke, bro. This isn't train. This train.
Bring it back, though, please. Bring it back.
Would another rework? Is that what we're asking for?
As far as I know, like, from what's been, like, sort of people have like posted on social media, like seeing maps in the files. Apparently, it's just like a sort of an uplift, you know, like they did with Vertigo.
Yeah.
But
or maybe we don't make it a map about trains. We make it like a futuristic maglev map. You know, those like magnetic
with like
train
things,
with
those like floaty trains. Yeah, exactly.
Go futuristic. Say not great buy on the CT side as you'd imagine, but it's not all that great on the T side either. I was going to say the pistols and the SMGs could cause some pretty serious damage on a map like Nuke, but that's not going to happen. They are getting torn apart everywhere. A little bit of damage done on Linus, but other than that, no substantial contact made, and it's Zyphon left alone, coming up through Secret. Well, for a kill, took a while for the body to drop there. But he gets himself one for, unfortunately, just running into the open and getting shut down by xFloud, who was chilling in the warehouse. 2-0 for Sangal. They only lose a single player as well, so that's not going to impact them too much. And, well, considering they're now up against an eco, they have a chance to potentially keep all 5 alive here and really build up that money. And by doing so early on the T side, they will be putting themselves in a great position, and they're just reminding TSM of how poorly that first map went as well right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it can be hard mentally when you absolutely get destroyed on map 1 and then you lose the pistol, the first pistol, on map 2. You can be like, oh, here we go again. But they have to put that sort of feeling out of their minds. They have to get the guns out after these Deagles and 5.7s and P250. Just try again. Shut it out. Jota will deal with Valder nicely. xFloud finds Quirts, and this will be the expected result, I should imagine. He gets his kill. Winters gets spotted by xFloud. Comfortable. 2 for Sammy, 2 for xFloud, and 1 for Jota. Only 1 kill for TSM. Now the guns can come out.
Yeah, single kill in both rounds. No substantial damage really being done. As you said, TSM at least do get onto their weapons now, but they're going to have to take a couple rounds in a row to actually break Sangal's economy. A couple players maybe even in a more comfortable position than that, with perhaps 2 buys in the reserve. My feed currently is not cooperating with me too well, so I'll have to let you take over, Travis.
Yeah, mine is a little bit jumpy as well, but it's smoothing out now. So I'll tell you that xFloud is outside behind the smokes, and Joel will try and break them open to catch a player on that cross. He'll now fall back, and actually he's going to come through. He's going to try and fight for it, and actually Inters spots a glimpse and takes one. And Zyphon will find the other. So Sangal trying to get down towards Secret. We'll lose 2 players for that luxury. But I think Inters' rotation from ramp will be heard, so Jota's going to try and take advantage of that. Thankfully, Zyphon's rotation is smart, making sure no one was lurking through. Even though he's out, might only get this 1 trade. They have a chance perhaps to get the bomb planted toward B, though.
bomb at the very least, as you said, gone down and boost that economy up even further. But holding off the after plant, I was going to say, will be real difficult, but already the initial fight was isolated. If xCloud had come through with that second and taken control of single door, it would have been damn near impossible on the retake. Instead, Jota still has a very difficult task ahead of him. He gets one kill to make it a bit more costly, but he's fully committed to that angle there, which Valde is able to take for himself and win out the fight. Trying to see what they can recover there, I believe, as the defuse comes in. Yeah, utility really lying around. I think they got a couple of flashes. That's going to be all. No op to recover either, unfortunately, but it is a round for TSM most importantly, but they only keep 2 standing, meaning there might even be a weaker weapon in play here in this round. And with Sangal again coming out with everything they could possibly think of on the buy, they're in a perfect position to try and just quickly clap back here and leave TSM in a horrible spot. So this is a very crucial round, and I wouldn't have minded a pause. I know it's early days, but we never really seen one back on Mirage, and this is a must-win round for TSM, so I think a breather would have been good.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, of course, that I'd be interested to see who AWPs for TSM once they get onto CT side. Well, they barely even played CT side of Mirage, so I'm interested to see who does take up that role once they build up the economy. And they have a chance of doing that right now, because this is a nicely played round from TSM. They've gone for a lobby crunch, they've put 2 players into that area of the map, they got their 2 frags, they didn't even get traded at all. And suddenly, out of nowhere, Sammy is last alive, so genuinely, probably the best round we've seen from TSM so far today.
Easy kill as well as soon as that bomb starts going down. Not quite. Does take him off the plant. And with a second player already back in from ramp, there's absolutely nowhere safe to go for it. Even if he had started going for the straight up plant on the default in behind the silo there, I think that single door player would have got there in time.
Yeah.
So there wasn't much to be done. Again, Sangal can just about scrape out another buy, but there's going to be one player at least stuck on a weaker weapon this time. Sammy actually decides to go for the op this time around. I believe they were full AKs in that previous one. So they want to try and change things up a little bit, maybe slow it down, because that quick play in the previous round was shut down completely by TSM. This time maybe hoping that op can get an early pick and leave TSM on the back foot instead. Beats a nade outside.
Yeah, Sammy will take a little tag to that, and now Joel is ready to frag. He gets himself a second, but unfortunately, actually, I don't think he was seen there by Sammy at all.
Timing, yeah.
I think it's just a timing shot, hearing him rotate, so that's actually pretty unlucky for Joel, and well judged for Sammy. I'm sure he would have felt safe, but Sammy dealt with it, unfortunately. Sammy's down now, and TSM have done well to keep this advantage intact, and Valde lurking up often can be such a problem when a CT pokes their head up from the secret area. And when Quirt's getting one, Valde feels safe to go for a bit more of a swing. He finds that last as well. Nice little bounce back from Valde here. He didn't have a great map 1. I mean, none of them really did. But yeah, it's good to see some of the individuals of TSM doing some fragging. And they've finally put Sangal on an eco. Yeah, we've already got a lot more fight here in these opening few rounds from TSM than we've seen across the entirety of Mirage, so certainly a promising map now coming up. Zeus for Sammy. You don't see the Zeus being bought up much on the T side, so interesting approach. I don't think he's going to get into much of a position to use it, unfortunately, as Valde and Inters are already clearing things up outside, and yeah, well, Sammy was hoping for that hut aggression. That's kind of the one spot it'd work out, maybe if someone pushed up on ramp as well. Yeah. Or if you went quick over and dropped into main, hoping to catch someone close to the angle, maybe. Exactly. Bait them in. There's a couple of options for sure. Shoot the Glock, bait them in. Let's see if it works. It's usually a much more common, of course, on the CT side. I've actually seen it being very successful. I mean, obviously, Rox has kind of, I wouldn't say innovated, but a couple of occasions. Yeah, he's done. A couple of occasions, of course, on pistol rounds even. He was buying it up to just get a free instant kill if they ran out huts on that CT side. I've seen it just the other day, actually, in a cast I did of Bleed, their roster, of course. I can't remember who brought it up. I think it was Bleed. Playing Inferno, playing Half Wall. Just got a kill, close up, got the AK grabbed over instantly because it's such a close knit portion of the map, of course. Managed to get an immediate follow-up, so yeah, it's Very viable. Let's see if Sangal can make this round viable. AKs are out. One outside smoke. They're going to put a few more in now, but there is a massive gap. They're just basically going to be right-clicking smokes their way to secret. Joel will try and break it open again. They realise that possibility. Joel goes back to hide. He's got another HE on the floor. Actually, really nice plan there from TSM to have multiple HEs on the ground to break those outside smokes. Protocol that maybe is a little bit more common these days, but Youngstar is keeping his team in with an advantage situation. And Zyphon, is he going to check that close angle? Good reaction. 2v2, and he knows where the main player is, and that's the play with the bomb too, but he doesn't know about Jota.
He had landed a brilliant nade onto Samey as well. If we had got that kill onto Jota, Samey would have been left in a horrible spot. Instead, they have the 2-on-1. They've spotted Quirt's coming up the vent as well, and he tries to get out before they can get themselves into position, hoping to maybe deter them from that bomb plant, perhaps even send them running back down the ladder. But that doesn't work out, unfortunately. We see a 4th round for Sangal. They finally get themselves a bit of life here once again, but well, we'll see if they can keep that up. There had been enough rounds won in a row for TSM to build up a decent enough economy on most players, and then there's Valde, who's just like, yeah, whatever, I have 14,000, what are you gonna do about it? Not quite sure how he managed to get so far ahead of everyone else. He must have been dropped. He must have been getting dropped perhaps a couple times, or just wasn't dying quite as much. Of course, he only has the 4 deaths. Either way, they've got what they need, and well, they also need another round win here to try and put themselves back into the lead and keep on building this towards a good CT side. Honestly, if Sangal can take even one more T round, they're in an okay position. So
yeah,
they don't feel the pressure quite as much, I would say.
Well, this is new. We saw Intos be the man to actually keep the AWP on the T side of Mirage in that last map. We didn't know who was going to play it on CT. It's actually going to be Intos, incredibly. Can he get into the action on a round like this, though? It's going to be an A-pop, and X-Cloud just popped Valda. Joel trying his best, only gets the 1. Hasn't been flagging too badly in this game compared to the last, but this is a great take from Sangal. A-bomb site run over, and Inter didn't even have a chance. He was pushed aggressive toward outside red, trying to get an early pick in that sightline past Silo, of course, into spawn. Not going to happen, and Zyphon has to fall away too.
Yeah, an understandable save. Okay, everything that they need, but as I had mentioned, Sangal already hitting that 5-round mark. Could still potentially get it up towards 6. I mean, 8 is obviously a possibility, but I mean, even 6 would put them in a great position. TSM have got to be a little bit worried, and it's shocking how quickly things kind of turned around once again, right? Obviously, it started off pretty well initially for Sangal getting the 3 rounds, but TSM came alive, took themselves the 4 rounds in a pretty convincing fashion as well, but unfortunately now we're just in a pretty horrific position, spending most of their economy here to try and deny Sangal from heading up 6-4, which is just not a position they're going to want to let happen.
Also feels worse as well when you actually have built up some economy and you have multiple gun rounds in a row and you can't find an answer, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be nice for him to take this one. Joel trying to play with the corner of that smoke and maybe thinking he could escape into secret once that original duel went down. He didn't get taken down, but not to be. And yeah, questionable from Joel. Linus will use all of his utility to try and pop in toward main. Well, let's have some control. That's about it. Valda will pick up Linus as we saw him trying to drop in. So good recovery kill, 4 versus 4. Zyphon about to spring wide toward ramp, and he spots the player close and the player far. So it's a bit awkward for Zyphon. But Intes is here. He's already taken 1, and he's taken a 2nd as well. Maybe Intes is an AWPer. Who would have thought it? 4 versus 2. Jota up close, but that's a very tough shot to hit. He doesn't realise Samey is right nearby. So Bomb attempts to go down. Zyphon's already there, though. What did I say about his position? It's all down to Jota. I think they know where he is. Double peek. Oh, actually almost lined up. But not to be.
I felt that, yeah, the lineup. If he got the headshot on the first player in the instant, he's able to cam the spray. Probably gets himself the 2nd, but
yeah,
I think he shot the first one in the neck, tried to transfer, and then was like, oh, damn, that didn't kill him. Better see if I can somehow mow them both down. All in the space of about a 2nd, so that's how crazy things get. But Yeah, I mean, they made it at the very least kind of costly. Only 3 players are left standing. As I had said, Sangal already on 5. It's not a terrible position. They want to add at least 1 more round to it, but they have the chance to do that. They're going to buy up here. Mac 10 and a Galil in there, sure, but perhaps with a bit of early pressure, they can negate these weaker weapons, try and get that early advantage in their favor. Linus, unfortunately, this time with a Mac 10, can't take the same fight as before. He's still up on Silo, though. I want to drop his way down in towards main, perhaps for the A split, judging by the current positions with a heavy presence around lobby as well.
Oh, he's got in. He's got in. Hang on a second. The Mac 10 could be about to do some work. Youngstar's already got himself onto the side. Actually a weird situation with TSM having an opening pick, but yeah, 4v5 for Sangal. Simi checking the vents. But actually can go down. This is quite unusual, actually, to be in this sort of situation. They're going to try and pop their way through heaven, but Linus and Jota get a couple of kills. Then the trades come. 2 for the CT side, 2 back for Jota. Triple kill for him, and Inters is about to die. There it is. Great round for Sangal.
If you're Inters, you're just like, why is he there?
Exactly. Got down the vents already looking for the hunt, right? Even though the run wasn't kind of over, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that could have been dangerous. If he was already in main, if he's pushing through, manages to somehow get that kill on the bomb site, he has perhaps even a chance to just stick to defuse. So it's a little bit risky, but it works out. He ensures that they recover the op for themselves as well. It was samey, right? So he knew what he was looking for. He was looking for that op specifically. So they've got themselves everything they could ask for here. TSM again are able to just about scrape together the buy. Not really got many weaknesses. Maids could be slightly better. There is one for Mass, but this is where they need to go ahead and turn this back around and hopefully take a 6-6 half at the very least. As Jota runs out, he will be spotted as he starts dropping down. Perhaps not. I'm not 100% sure. Quirtz is going to go ahead and follow him down. He's been very slow about it. I mean, and a lot of ground's already being covered. And in the meantime, a kill towards outside from Samey gives them early advantage. Sorry, it was actually in towards A, I believe. It was Xfloud who gets that kill in the end outside.
Hello.
Oh, no.
No, I was waiting for that.
So we didn't know, I guess.
Exactly. We were waiting for that whole round, basically, for that particular duel to play out. And, well, we saw the answer. It's another half lead for Sangal, but a lot more competitive this time. We'll see if TSM can continue to make a fight of it after a quick break. it's progress for TSM. It's way more competitive than map 1. You can see that on the top right of your screen right now. But yeah, Sangal still feel like they're in control. They go over to the defense of Nuke now. Probably still feeling very confident indeed. TSM, what have they got on the T-pistol?
Yeah, hopefully something up their sleeve, something special, because they need to win this pistol and get off to a strong start here on that T side. And well, they're going to go ahead and start swarming over towards ramp, forcing the retreat immediately out of that player, which is a good call. He's going to have X-Cloud now to assist them on the actual defense of the bomb site, which is not going to be an easy task. As you can see, those Glocks want to get up close and personal right in the faces of those CTs. Well, initially at least it goes incredibly well. There's a couple more players here to try and trade it out. And we suddenly have a 3 on, make that 2. Make it 2 on 2 rather right now. Because the bomb should finally be planted, but Linus doesn't want to give them a lot of space. He's gone pretty aggressive here already, getting himself in towards that window room. The footsteps were, I believe, heard. As he gets himself the initial frag. He's actually alone on this one, I believe.
Yes,
1 versus 1.
Yeah, we have a disconnect, yeah, so as you can see, 2 X-Clouds on the right there, so it was all Linus, and Quirtz knows it, trying to play with the angles, trying to get a pistol for his team, but Linus can just keep playing the angles back and forth. He had the kit, he knew he could take his time and didn't just have to rush his way in, and that's great stuff from Linus, especially when obviously there's a disconnection going down in the midst of all that.
Yeah, and that disconnect is what gives TSM the best chance they possibly could have had in that round, and they're still not able to close it out with a 2-on-1. That is heartbreaking.
Yeah, I kind of didn't really like what Inters did in that situation. I feel like when he heard Linus walking in and maybe jumping in toward that glass area, kind of tried to shift his way into that dark position, but it was a bit risky to play in the open like that.
Yeah, I don't think there's a disconnect. I think Youngster, was it? No, it wasn't Youngster. I think the 5th player for some reason just isn't showing up. They've been pushed off of it, and there's an extra dot there on the radar.
Could be one of the coach slot bugs, right? It can obviously to get coaches involved on matches that are on, like, played on Face It, for example, these days. It's like a workaround, which is basically creating a player slot that the coach can join, but obviously doesn't put him on the server as a player. So it can be a little bit weird with the with HUDs sometimes. So ignore the second X-Cloud for now.
Glad you can just say Face It now. Remember back in the day when they were separate and you have to be like, oh yeah, I was playing games on that other service.
Yeah, they've it's all joined up these days, of course.
Well, they should have the backstab here to tie up the numbers, and well, with 50 seconds still on the clock, a player back towards Hell. They've got a couple. They've got some good position in here, really. That could have left them to head towards either bomb site. It looks like they want to bring it towards B, and Linus has a very forward position. It's a good spot for the initial kill. Unfortunately, it's 1 and done. Linus with the trade. Oh, 1 on 2. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I've got to keep reminding ourselves that.
One of the players doesn't show even when they're alive, though.
That's true. That's true. It didn't even show on the minimap. You're absolutely right.
That's what I was saying. He's just gone. Like, we couldn't see him. That's what was confusing me initially.
That's a good point. Yeah. Sorry, I misheard you on that one. But yeah. Youngsters' only choice here is to save. So TSM have fought their way into a round victory here. And there we go. I think the fake X-Cloud has been removed. Maybe we can get a quick... We're going to have a quick HUD refresh now. We're going to go back to cameras quickly and get that refreshed for you, hopefully, so it fixes it for you guys. Youngstar will get a successful save, and Inters Valda will survive. 8-6. Now TSM closing the gap once again. And yes, we'll go back to cameras ever so quickly to hopefully fix that HUD. Should only take a few seconds. And we'll get straight back into the game. As I said, can be a bit of a difficult thing to work with, of course, these days, with how that coach slot has been working. I think I spoke to a few producers who I was asking for some help with my own stream about, you know, how to use a HUD, how to make it work with, you know, coaches being in the server, and yeah, it happens. Let's put it that way. But we're going to get back into the game, and there we go.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to use the HUD since since coaches have become a bit more common on the Face It ones and stuff, but I remember back in the day it didn't always want to cooperate, and it's pretty much automated, so when there's an issue you're like, what the hell do I do to fix this? So I don't feel good for a producer. I know it's a pain in the arse. Either way, a crucial round here with Sangal taking the force buy. They want to try and fight their way right back in here before there's any footing at all found for TSM. And well, with an initial kill already taking down Quirts, that is not a poor start. Weapon potentially recovered. Yeah, I believe they got an M4 out of that, was it?
I believe so. Same, he got the upgrade.
Yeah, off the MP9.
Yep. Oh, that's a good kill to take. Zyphon playing a little lurk. Yeah, and removing a big gun. Important for TSM. They'll work their way as a pack now down towards Secret. Xcloud on the site ready. Jota there too. And the two Turkish players hold hands in unison and stop TSM.
The Deagle, it's not the greatest weapon to work with here, but he does have solid angles to try and play. Unfortunately, not expecting that flank from Inters. Jota's position, I was going to say, might catch them off guard, but he was shown the shoulder, unfortunately, so he's spotted at the very least. Not taken out of contention for now, as they just decide to get that bomb down instead and get the clock running. As Inters says, screw it, I'm going to go ahead and just dive in. Cannonballs his way in towards Dark, and should have pretty much confirmed the round with that now, especially as Zyphon lines them up on the flank. Easy upgrade to the M4, gets himself a Deagle as well while he's at it, and that's going to be a 7th round for TSM, and thankfully with 3 players alive as well. They're able to keep the main rifle standing. It was a force buy, as we said, from Sangal, so now they'll be up against the Eco. They'll have a chance to, as you can see, maybe even add some money with those Mac 10s. They had 2 Mac 10s a second ago. They actually dropped one of them, I guess. Or potentially just sold it. Yeah. You can do that now, of course. And yeah, it's absolutely zero investment on that CT side, so hopefully Zyphon is able to just go hunting and they can keep all the rifles standing, potentially put themselves in a good position with a score line as well. There you go, already a few kills coming through. It is mostly the rifles, but Zyphon gets a small piece of the pie.
God damn, look at the timer at the top of the screen, 141. That was a quick one. And so it should be. Sangal's pistols get eaten up. The nade damage there was ridiculous. And we're back even at 8 apiece. Nice to see a competitive map between these two after the destruction of map 1. Can TSM somehow find a way to take us to a 3rd?
I thought Mirage and then maybe the decider of Vertigo where we could see the closer games. Less so Vertigo, to be honest, but I mean, there has been some decent results despite it not being a super played map by TSM, so I thought maybe we could have an interest in the decider, but no, it's Nuke, the map where I figured we'd probably see a little bit of a walkover, that we're getting the super close scoreline.
Yeah.
Slow round being played out here by TSM. Probably aware that Sangal, despite coming into the gun round, will not have the greatest of utility, so just trying to force out what they can here in the early seconds.
Star on the rafter. She does quite well to get 1 undamaged, considering he was so blinded up, and this is a really lovely hold from Sangal. He had a bit of aggression in toward lobby as well in the midst of the madness. Jota managed to get himself a cheeky kill. It's 1 each so far for Sangal, 1 for Xcloud, and it would be a team ace. Inters 31 HP. Creeping away. Again, having a pretty good game, to be fair, to Inters, right? Velda's having a nice little bounce back from map 1, but Inters was the one shining light, even if it was some exit kills on map 1. But Inters is playing well.
Not a ton of time for Inters to make anything work, really. Up towards heaven. I mean, even if he gets a kill at that point, everyone else can just tuck in pretty much, so.
Yeah.
Saving's not a great option either, though. I think getting that little bit of damage is the way to go, but
Yeah,
as I said, winning is impossible.
It doesn't necessarily matter if he does after time as well. Obviously, it still wouldn't be ideal, but he's got so much cash. Oh, actually,
no.
That would have been really nice, right? They would have dropped the AWP. It probably would have been picked up absolutely fine. But still, it would have been an important kill.
I'd be mad if I was him. So.
Yeah, just saved by a teammate at the
He's
last
thinking,
second.
oh cool, free kill, and then you just immediately get shot in the head. 9-8, Sangal back in the lead for now. As we had mentioned, though, TSM were not struggling for money, so they've got everything and they've Got some excess economy once again if this one does go south, but at that point they'd be down 10-8 and things would really be getting dicey, so they do not want to let that happen. Ideally looking to tie up the scoreline once again and keep the back and forth going, and with that, break the economy for Sangal because they do not have much in the reserve. Same, he's getting very aggressive. What a shot!
Nice.
Half a pixel maybe shown right there as Joel tried to duck back into cover. A player dropping down the vent at the very least, take some control, get some ground for TSM. The rest of the players towards outside, it's going to be tough for them to actually join up. Likely going to send him around through secret, see if they can get the rest of them across. And in the meantime, Zyphon's gotten himself a kill, I believe, towards outside.
Trying to keep this game close. Xcloud timing peak, trying to catch them on the cross, and look at that critical damage to Valda. Inters dropping to Jota in the meantime too. And obviously they know Xcloud is here, so perhaps they're trying to double face him, but what? They knew he was there. Hello? TSM? You've got to clear that, brothers. Lack of communication? Pretty sure Valda knew where he was shot from, no? Sure, he did just get round the angle in towards Secret before he died. Maybe he didn't see him. I don't know, that's really strange.
Yeah, I'm really not sure. Valda's got 5 health here as well. I mean, Jota's not looking too healthy, but still position where the time's working against Valda pretty big time, so Jota can just tuck in and wait for that clock to run down.
Yeah, no
No
bomb
time,
as well.
of course. Yeah, no time, of course, for that bomb to be recovered. Valda just wants to live, I guess. I mean, 2,600 in the reserve. If he had have died, it might have been worthwhile.
What if Jota just spams single door right now? Oh, he's not going to.
That's what I thought might have happened initially when he was sitting in behind
the
little crate and moved, so there was no hope of that anymore, sadly. But Sangal get that 10-8 scoreline that I said was dreaded by TSM. They can just about scrape together to buy again and get a little potentially to be dropped over to Joel, I'd imagine. Valda will hang on to the AK considering he is popping off 18 and 9 right now, top of the scoreboard for his team. And well, they might still be asking more of him considering it doesn't seem like it's going to be enough. Zyphon not going for the vent drop, just straight up trying to take this fight out on A, I believe. There we go, catches Linus. Won't be able to get any more with it, unfortunately. And well, they're trading places in this ramp smoke right now. I was going to say that could be very dangerous if they all just bypass him. But instead, it's the one-for-one trade. The op's not able to get any kills out of it either. All he does is delay the push and allow Youngster's position to be potentially more effective. And there you go. Gets the first, second, just about goes his way. But it is going to be Inters who returns with a couple of his own to suddenly give us a 1 versus 1.
Now then, samey with the AWP. How quickly can he get through glass? How quickly can he find Inters? Yeah, actually, I think he's made his way up silently here. Inters has got himself into dark. And Samey, I think, has an idea of exactly where he's playing. And actually, he has just paths that 1v1 to absolute perfection. I was going to say he has a smoke, he has a kit. If he could somehow cross without Inters seeing him, if he maybe tucks himself behind the dark box, to maybe try and force him out with that smoke onto the bomb. But didn't even need it. Figured out exactly what was going on, and that's a beautiful clutch for Samey.
Considering the bomb plant position, there wasn't any other places he could have went. If double doors was open, he maybe could have crept in there and could have been on the flank, but it was either that or more likely in towards dark, as we've seen. So yeah, well read, especially in the height of the action where there was so much on the line.
And having an
op
too.
Yeah, I was going to say with an op also, it doesn't let you make that mistake of actually missing a shot. TSM are on the force buy here as well. They know it's all or nothing, really. 11-8, if they lose this, they're playing for an overtime, and even if they win out in an overtime, which would be a long way away from them, they'd still have a third map to worry about, so they want it all, hopefully, to start recovering here and now. Xcloud good for the 1. Traded out, that'll give them an upgrade off that Mach 10, but unfortunately, a 1-for-1 isn't all that great, especially, I was going to say, with Linus's flank potentially on outside. If he had to wrap that in behind the box right there, he would have been in a better position. Instead, the smoke fades away, and he's just left in the open.
Yeah, Quirts alongside Valda have an advantage this time, TSM, to work with. Can they keep Sangal off of 12? They're choosing to go back up the vents toward A because, of course, they have control of it. That is the correct decision. I don't think Sangal will necessarily want to go for this one. They're quite disconnected from the action. Okay, we've got a save here. TSM will keep it close.
They'll have weapons at least in this next round. Samey should be able to drop one, Youngster as well, so they'll have everything they could ask for, but they won't have any money left over, meaning if TSM get that next round, suddenly they're on 10 and the economy for Sangal is broken, and TSM have a very real path back into potentially taking even a 13-11 victory, so it's a little bit worrying here, I would say, for Sangal. Path forward, it is pretty clear for TSM. That doesn't mean it's easy, but definitely see the way forward. You get a pause. Potentially a technical. I don't think it's a tactical.
Yeah, I think when it's his match pause in the middle, I think that's when it's a technical, as far as I know. Usually it says tactical versus one of the team next to one of the teams when it is. Hopefully it won't take too long though. Might be xCloud. He's your only one yet to buy. That's the thing we can try and judge from it, of course. Reminder, of course, that the winner of this game in this mid-seed group, of course, it can be a bit hard to understand the format of Challenger League this season. Your position, of course, in the original group stage determines which seed group you go into in these little mini brackets. TSM in that mid-seed group alongside Sangal. Winner of this goes to in the next round of the lower bracket against one of the two teams who are playing on the other stream right now. Rebels and Brazy, I'll call them that, because that's the cop-out answer. Yeah, the Polish derby. And Brazy are up one map, 13-8. And also up 5-1 in map 2 as well. Looking good.
Yeah, we're getting back into it. xCloud, does he have a weapon on the ground? Oh, he's got an M4 anyway, somehow. That's all that matters. TSM not rocking it up, but not necessary really on that T side. See, really this round here is big for both of these teams. Sure, TSM could just about scrape together another buy in the next round if they lost this, but they'd be fighting for the OT, and Sangal on the other hand, they could be broken completely if they lose this round. There is a lot on the line, and despite that not being a tactical pause we just had, I'm sure both teams were happy to take a short breather.
Yeah, you're right about the economy situation for Sangal. If TSM managed to kill them all in this round, we could genuinely have a game on our hands, but that is a great start for Samey. He's had a very consistent game so far. What we expect to see from him. You mentioned that maybe he'll have a good game as TSM don't have a recognised AWPer, right? We're playing without one for most of this series so far. Actually, he's been farming. Oh, Interz is lucky to be alive. xCloud tapping him down. Stuck in the cubby outside. Nade even chips him even further. Good team performance from Sangal in this game. So need to put the cherry on top of the cake here.
Person straight outdoor. Smoking towards main to cut off the fights and leave these players in on the site itself isolated, but Youngster somehow manages 2 kills. He's called in assistance from heaven as well, with Samey in position to give him some help, but it doesn't even matter. Youngster somehow just keeps on fragging on his own. 3 kills on that bomb site, leaving Inters alone with no time to do anything about it, meaning Sangal have already etched in a 12th round. And, well, TSM are in a rough spot, at least with this AK being saved forward for Inters. They'll have pretty much the full buy, maybe one Galil thrown in there for Joel. They still need 3 in a row just to get an overtime to give themselves a chance to fight for a 3rd map.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. As you said, they do have some form of purchase. It's really not that bad. I say some form of purchase. They only have only one Galil. That's the slight downside, but yeah, I mean, recent times, of course, I looked at this team, looked at their recent results. I mean, Joel has a pretty good rating. I know he can be explosive. I know he can have, like, massive carry performances like we've seen in the past, but this TSM, of course, playing with Inters, who technically is benched. Not on the roster anymore. Of course, Modo in Brazil, playing with OG. No recognised Orpats. Probably both picked Sangal for this game. And it looks like they could be about to close this one out. Could have some poles to deal with in the following round. Or will do. Just a question of which ones. Youngstar starts it off, and look at the utility already on TSM, so low.
They've absolutely nothing. A couple of flashes and a molly. How are they meant to get themselves any sort of control? It's going to have to be fights they win, and considering they're about to find the upper, I was going to say they're in trouble. Sammy, though, just about leaves the angle. That'll give some ground now to be covered as the repeat comes in. He just about spotted the head. Needs to be careful of Garage. Does manage that one kill. I was going to say a trade likely to come, but no. Again, the timing this time working in his favor as he ducks back into cover, drops the hell again. And well, a 3-on-5 here that TSM need a miracle to recover from.
Well, I mean, Valda could do something with this. He's got 2 players to face, but he's pathing it pretty nicely, and Youngstar could get caught off guard here. He's just moved away from the angle as Valda creeps up. That's pretty nice, but now Valda's last alive. He's more stuck than a stuck thing. And that is going to be a defuse for Sangal and the series as well. Jota gives his teammate a celebratory tap in the head. And that is done and dusted for Sangal.
Yeah, 13-9. I mean, I thought maybe Mirage would be in the closer, maybe like 13-9, 13-10 scoreline, and Nuke would have been the one where we see things get a little bit out of control. But no, second map here is where things got a little bit exciting, but I still think it was overall a kind of disappointing performance from TSM. They started off